Great. So good evening, everyone, or afternoon, depending on your time zone. So today is already practice number 9 of Ukulele Foundations for week 5, which has a focus on rhythm syncopation or, I guess, anticipation, depending on how you want to look at it. Anyway, this is part of the Ukulele Foundations course. You could subscribe at any time. And I'm going to start my timer, speaking of time, because I want to make sure I am mindful of everyone's time here, including my own. All right, so the goals of this practice, just like any other one, is just to help us go over what we've seen. And we're going to try to break it down in 3 sections. Number 1, warm up, which you should always warm up if you can afford it. Secondly, you'll want to work on the stuff that you don't quite already know yet, or build your speed up as you go through these things. And number 3, always save time at the end to have a bit of fun, explore, be silly, be goofy, whatever you want to do there. So without any further ado, I am going to jump right into it. Okay, this is not the screen I'm looking for. Eventually I'll get it. All right, awesome. All right, let's do this. Let's go with the first thing we talked about, which was, we talked about anticipation, and I'm going to go right ahead and show that slide so that we could practice that a little. Wonderful. And let's go all in. All right. So we talked about this this week. We talked about the 3 types of missed beat is the first type of syncopation. We also talked about suspended syncopation, which is like it's just hanging. You don't know what's going on. And then the offbeat syncopation, which is just like once in a while you throw in a curveball into your rhythms. So I'm going to go through those real quick, and we're going to start incorporating them in the songs we're going to check out later. I'm going to try to give options. So one's for ultra beginners that are working their way up there, and beginners, and then intermediate beginners, if you will. So let's just go with, so this is, let's set us our metronome on 8th notes and slow this down to 40. Here we go. Here we go. And 3 and 4 and da, ti, ti, silence. Ti, ti, da, ti, ti. Ti with F chord. Find a way to mute your strings. Mute. Okay, cool. Once you get comfortable with that, I just want to give you a sense of where this is going. So as you're working your speed up a bit, I'm going to change chords too. This would sound like this. And 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I know the metronome can get a bit much, but I mean, this is the best I could do. But it's important that you hear it properly. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get into that. So down the road, like much faster without a metronome. So as you can tell, that silence there, it really drives it. So let's do the same thing, but let's go swing. So just to, not to confuse you, just to show you that you need to practice both, right? So I'm gonna slow it right down to 40. Each click is worth an 8th note. 3 and 4 and da, ti, ti, silence. Ti, ti, da, ti, ti, ti. F chord. Oh, too early. I'm going to do it again. Much better. And you could try different techniques to mute things. So I'm going to go and I'm going to make it a bit faster. Again, just to give a sense of where this is going. 70. So without a metronome, much faster, still swing. And so on and so forth. So, but work your way into this. This is not a rush, just to give you a hint of how to build this. Work on the speed slowly. I might actually, the people have asked me to have like practice sessions ongoing. Maybe I'm gonna set up a Patreon page just for that purpose. People that just want to pursue this and grow their speed. That might be something that happens. So here we go. Stay tuned for that. Okay, suspended. Okay, let's switch it up. Let's go with a good old C chord on this one. But as we remember, I'm gonna switch back to regular eighth notes because, you know, and go all the way down to 40. Okay, so this one goes 1 and 2 and 3, straight feel, 4 and ta, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ta. Keep that hand moving, even on the third beat. Ta, ti, ta. And let's go with C. Hold it. Keep that hand moving. And I'm going to switch to an A minor chord now. So this specific rhythm works really well with anything that has the doo-wop progression, like Stand By Me and that type of stuff. Like F, G, and C. That's actually a really, really nice way to tackle Stand By Me. So again, much faster, just to give you a sense, although I kind of just did, but it was a bit swingy. And 3 and 4 and ta. 4 and ta, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta, ti, ta, ti, ti. So let's F C chord again. And 4 and ta, ti, ta. And switch to A minor. And back to C. Back to A minor. Each beat. Sorry, I can't speak. And back. And so on and so forth. So that's 70. It gives you a sense of where this is going. Let's do it real quick with swing. Same difference. Again, it might be a bit confusing at first going from swing to straight feel, but don't worry about it. It's gonna, you know, you're gonna get into it eventually. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And let's go with the kodai. Da, di, da, di, di, da, di, da, di, F chord. Let's go a bit faster, 60 real quick, just to have this one sink in. 2 and 3 and 4 and nice. And when you're ready, switch to G7. And now that was not smooth. But my rhythm was good though. And so on and so forth. So one thing you could do also to kind of get, if the metronome is stressing you out, like take little breaks from the metronome, but keep that idea of almost trance, like close your eyes. If you could focus on that. Just get deep into that sound. And that's one of my favorite things. Like I could literally spend sometimes 5-10 minutes just go in on a couple of chords, trying to really get into that sound and adjust my timing and everything. So it seems simple, but it's a simple pleasure, I guess. So there you go. That's why it's good. All right, Offbeat Syncopation. Let's do the same thing. This is everyone's favorite. It's also the island strum, so y'all should be fairly familiar with this one. The tricky part might be to go from straight field to swing field. And so we can recognize this is straight field because it's a bit robotic. 1 and 2 and 3, and let's go with Kodai. Da, ti, da, ti, 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 da, ti, da, ti, 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 da. Okay, we're good. Let's go between C and A minor. Ti, then ti, da, ti, ti, ti. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that's 40. Let's speed it up a bit to 60 real quick. 2 and 3 and 4 and da, ti, 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 ti. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. Keep that hand moving, keep that foot tapping. Once you reach something like 80, as I suggested, you might want to turn that second click off like so, just for clarity. So just get into it though. 1 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's really good with old 50s songs, and pretty much I don't know many songs that don't work properly with this one. And let's mix it up a little and throw some swing into the mix, because you know this is how we roll. So let's make this swing, and let's slow all the way down, back down to 40, just to get a sense. Again, go slowly when you're increasing. Like I'm making wild jumps here from 40 to 60 or 70, but like make small adjustments, maybe 4 at a time, 4 BPMs more. And just pay attention if you feel like you're kind of like losing it with the ukulele, which is gentle, then that's probably your cue to go back a couple of notches and work there. Just work where it's a bit challenging, not more. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Let's go with the Kodai. Da, ti, da. Too early. Ti, 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 da, ti, da. That was better. Ti, ti. F chord. And make micro adjustments. Aim for those clicks. Keep that foot tapping and that hand moving. Apparently I can't speak and play at the same time. So that's actually not that as easy as it seems. Again, I'm going to be more reasonable with the jumps. Let's go 50 real quick. 2 and 3 and 4 and keep adjusting. And when you're comfortable, add a second chord like G7. And here we go. And back to F. And back to G7. Whoa, I missed the click. So just a little pause here. I mean, you get it by now. This is pretty important. First of all, I forgot to mention earlier on, I'm using my low G today, which is why it might be sounding funny to some of you. I believe both high G and low G people should get along. So I'm representing both here with this one. It's a fun instrument. I highly recommend if you ever get a chance to try it. It has a completely different songs. The way I see it, on some songs, it works better with this one, especially if I'm doing like some finger style stuff like jazz or flamenco or classical. I find the Logi works better, or anything that replaces a piano. But it's a matter of personal taste. There are other songs, like for some funk stuff or for some reggae stuff, for example, I wouldn't go with low G, I prefer high G. So why choose, right? When you can have multiple ukuleles. Yes, that's my message. So what I wanted to say is, as you notice, and this is really realistic, you don't see that when you see the pros performing. I mean, the ukulele pros, all the ukulele pros that we know. But professional musicians, you don't see them practicing. So you don't see what just happens. Sometimes they mess up. Just don't be hard on yourself. Just make adjustments. This is why normally this part is private. It's not broadcasted publicly like this one. But yeah, so don't make a big deal out of those mistakes. Just keep adjusting. And this is how, when it's time to show up for a real performance, it looks like I know what I'm doing because I made all the mistakes in private. Or if you have a friend that you'd like to make mistakes with, you can invite them along. That's another way to tackle it. So yeah, this is something I really wanted to point out. Okay, I think we're halfway through the rhythms. Yes, so I'm gonna save the second half for next practice because I wanna play our friend Happy Birthday. This is how I roll. All right, let's talk about this. Is it the right Happy Birthday? I don't think it is, actually. Oh, this is fun. Wrong Happy Birthday. Oh, well. No worries. I got you. I got you right here. And here we go. Almost. Yeah, that was definitely the last one. But definitely the last one. Sorry about that, folks. Bear with me. Here we go. I have a surprise for this Friday's practice. Speaking of which, those that do not remember, I did mention that a bit earlier, which is this Friday's practice is going to be at a different time, slightly for reasons outside of my control. So I'm going to go at 3 p.m. Toronto, Montreal time, or 4:30 p.m. for I guess maritime time? Is that the way we say it? Yeah. All right, cool. Anyway, you know who you are. so you'll figure it out, I'm pretty sure. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at this real quick. I'm gonna reduce this. It's a good way. I'm gonna cheat really quickly here because this is gonna bother me. I want you to see all that I see. Here we go. Cool. This is cool. Close enough for rock and roll. Okay, cool. Let's go with Happy Birthday. And let's make this a bit bigger. Nice. We're good to go. Awesome. Nice. Okay. Let's go with the first two lines. So a couple of things I want to point out. We talked about moving your hands sometimes. Just keep an eye out for that. So remember, this is what we were aiming for. Now it has a different sound with, of course, our friend, the low G. But I'm gonna throw a wrench into this, and it's sometimes I will do this, and I would recommend you do the same. Sometimes you want to get a sense like, am I ready to work on this with a metronome? Is something you might not be asking yourself, but you should. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's find out. I'm gonna just go simple. 2, 3, 1, 2. So the first couple of notes I just played would go like so. 3, 1. We start on the 2, 3. Can I do this again? Is that too fast? Is that too slow? Maybe I want to go with the double click that we used. So I'm going to slow it down to 40. At some point, you will need to have something like a metronome, or I'm going to talk about iReal Pro during next practice. which is a fantastic way to make it more fun. Okay. Nice. Next. Whoops. It can happen to the best of us. And so this is important information. I'm going to behave like the way I would during my normal practice. So what did I notice right there? There was a bit of a slip up there, which is indication I need to work on that specific part. So I'm going to narrow down that specific part. So what's the problem? Oh, I'm pinching too hard. So again, just that part. I was messing up. Ah, nice. And just be gentle. Try it. Really relax. Okay, I'm gonna see what's next. Just that part. Again, the goal is to calm down and make this part comfortable. And try the next part. Okay, one last time, just whenever you're struggling with a part, slow it down, make it as relaxed or as small as possible until you could feel at ease. Like you're aiming for that. You're basically feeding your self-confidence. Yeah, I could do this, Jeff. You got this. But I'm cheating by making it super small or super slow. And once I get the confidence, then I could go ahead. One last time. Slow and relaxed. And switch to B7. And then it sounds really nice on a low G. So let's see. Once I do that enough, like fast forward in time, then I might be interested in saying, oh, you know what? Let's just do 50. Let's try 50 again. 2, 3, 1. We're gonna go next time. Nice. Okay, that last part is more difficult. I haven't practiced and it wasn't as smooth as the rest. So that's my cue. I would do exactly what I did just now, which is just focus on that last part. Whoops. From F to D minor to C. And I would just be really cool with this. Until it's a bit like, I mean, it's not a bit like it. These are chord changes, literally. So yeah, you want to treat them as the chord changes. The strategies we've seen so far, like, you know, going from in this case F. It's all the strings on F, right? And then D minor, C. You might gonna go from D minor to C, maybe. Oh, what did you notice? What did I just do there? I kind of, you know, I went from collapsed to expanded. By the way, this is what I forgot to say, so I'm going to do it right now while I'm here. So it's kind of a reverse practice session. Let's talk about your finger exercises real quick. So if we chose, let's say, a sequence such as the classic 1, 2, 3, 4 for today, you could practice moving around the fretboard. Let's see how that looks. I'm just warming up my fingers. Okay, so I might decide that I'm going to go to the next fret on the next string. Look at, oh, I'm kind of switching position here. And then 5 seconds per finger. Again, slide one more time. So what is the goal of this? Is to get you comfortable in a setting where there's no rush into moving around the fretboard and getting comfortable with the different fret sizes. And if I really want to make it funky, now that I'm here, I'm going to go back to the first. So that's a huge jump. So play around with that, I guess, on top of whatever you're doing. Between one string and the next, maybe change completely either the finger sequence, just like take little strolls around your fretboard, I guess is the thing. So that you're, it gets easier and easier for you to switch positions when you're met with a song that requires it. Okay, cool. So, oh, great. This is not what I intended. Bear with me. Okay, let's go with this one. Okay, so I want to have some fun too, because we're here to have fun. I talked about this as a prime example for anticipation or syncopation. So Adele, this is low G for those that were not here earlier. So low G is going to sound a little bit different if you're using a high G ukulele, but these are the same chords. So remember what we said is, what we're trying to do is, if we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, we're going to play on the 1, and we're going to play on the end of the second beat. So it goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. It's a bit awkward at first. So let's use E minor, because this is what is suggested here. 1 and 2 and 3, and here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Stay on one chord to begin with. 2, and once you're comfortable with that speed, you know what's next. Bring our good friend Mr. Metronome in. So let's do that right now. Let's switch to 4/4 and make sure we're cool. I'm going to put those as eighth notes because it's easier to get a sense of what's going on. Let's start at 45. 2 and 3 and 4. Take that E minor again. And 2 and 3. Oh, that's fun. 2, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Again. 1 and 2, and once you're comfortable with that, add the G on as the second chord, like so. Change, stay on E minor and G. Let's go again, E minor. Nice. Once you're comfortable with that, let's do the same thing with the next combination, which is start just with D. 4 and down and 3, and now when you're comfortable, let's go from D to C. Now, again, until it's smooth. If you need to slow it down, like stop the video and go, maybe if you need to do it, let's try 40 just for that one is a bit more difficult. D to C, and 4, and let's go, and 2 and 3. See how much it's less stressful. 2, 3, and 4. Once you're comfortable with that speed, let's try the whole thing, the full line. And 4, and here we go. And 2, G, 3, and D. 1 and 2 and 3, and again, E minor. 1 and 2 and G. 4 and D. Nice. So when you get more comfortable, gradually work your way up to 50, like so. And 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. And 2 and 3 and 4. And 2 and 3 and 4. When you're comfortable there, 60. Which is getting closer to the 79 mark. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, D, 1 and 2, C, E minor, G, back to D, back to C. So it's really awkward at first to keep that foot tapping and to play on those up strums. But I can't think of a better song to practice this because it makes such a big difference. So work your way, like we were at 60, so we're literally halfway there, just like Bon Jovi would say. And so as you can tell on the low G, that works really well. What did I have? Oh, not this one. Yeah, I just want to show you real quick something. We're going to take a look at this more on Monday, but since I have my low G, you know what I was telling you about? Sometimes if you just go with down strums, like so, but you focus on certain strings, with a low G, it makes a big difference. Check it out. Because of those, it's very different then. So just a quick something I wanted to show you. Okay, I wanted to show you something completely different. This is my time to have fun because the timer says so. So, all right, I want to talk about Mr. Sinatra. This is part of the songs list. It's in the advanced section. Why is it in the advanced section? This is Ukulele Foundations, Jeff. What are you doing? So the reason why there's an advanced section is something to aim for. These are more difficult. So always pick something that's like just slightly outside of your comfort zone if you want to grow. Eventually you'll get there. Or you could simplify either the rhythm or the chords. There's always a way around it. But I want to talk about this and have fun a bit with it. Why this is difficult, because the chords are actually all feasible. There's no bar chords in there. But the chord changes and the actual tempo are hard, which makes it a good challenge. So you could like take it slow here. It also will serve as a preview for you of a couple of things to come. Next week is the last week, I know. But we're going to talk about the most popular strums to use with certain styles. So this is Fly Me to the Moon, whatever version there are really a ton of versions out there, but it's typically a jazz ballad. This is how it would be qualified. So if you could tell here, not all of them have that, but what do we have here? Oh, this sounds like swing, right? So, because there's a triplet, so we just play the first here. So this is, think of it as just swing. So how would I read this? I would go da, 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 dee, dee, da, sorry, dee, dee, da, dee. So it's not actually that complicated once you understand where swing comes from. So what does that sound like with the actual chords? Let's find out. A minor 7. So I'm sorry, I won't have time to show all the chords, but they're here. You could get a link to it. A minor 7, there are many ways to do it. I'm going to use my favorite one just because. So I want to warm up. So mostly when you're playing, this is called a jazz comp. You probably want to just always use downstrokes and usually shorter chords. So this always works. So what we're going to go is fly me to the moon. Da, 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 da. You see? So it's mostly down strums, and once in a while you throw in an up strum just to make it funkier. So it's like a drum. But the bass, the basic move is just down strums for jazz ballads such as this one. So let's find out if I could do this. Okay. Oh, some syncopation there. As you can tell, these are the exact same moves we've been learning, but much. G7, C major 7. You might not know B's. Okay, I'm going to show you. So bonus here for those that are here. Here's how to do a B minor 7 without bars. So you want to have your pinky on the 4th fret here on the 4th string. You want to have a finger of your choice on the 2nd fret on the third string, and then another finger right here on the second fret on the second string. So it goes like this. So that's 4, 2, 2, 0. So that's a B minor 7 chord. Okay, right back at you. So this is a way to do it if you don't want to do a bar chord, which is going to make it a challenging change. So I think I'm ready. So let's give it a shot. So fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, kiss me. That's funky chord. Okay, so as you could tell, it's probably a stretch. I need to warm up and do it at full speed myself, but you could see how what we've been doing relates to that, right? It's just a matter of like working your way up there. And always same thing that for the voice, 3 songs in, I'm probably a much better singer. I know I'm a better singer, but this is practice. So this is exactly what it would look like if I'm learning the song in practice. So I wanted to show you that, and that was fun. So if it was just me and I wasn't doing something public like this, I would probably stick with that song for another 10 minutes until I feel it's just right. This is one of my pleasures. So in fact, here's a suggestion for you. If you could find songs, and if you're looking for inspiration, let me know, that are just outside of your level, and on any given day when you pick up your ukulele, you decide, okay, I'm gonna chip away at that song. It's not gonna be completed, but I'm just gonna, just go and try a couple of things here and there until next thing you know, you can play the song. So here we go. It's part of the fun. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, Friday's practice session, Jam Along, is going to be a bit earlier. So is there any questions? Now it's time on chat or on the Zoom call. Yes, no, maybe.
Just remind me of the time again, Friday.
It's 4:30 your time, and it's 3 o'clock in I guess New York, Toronto, Montreal time. Cool. So thank you, Elda, for being here, and thank you also for Patty that was briefly there. I saw her, so appreciate it. So enjoy. Go practice some ukulele. Look at those songs, and take your time, but gradually work on increasing your speed, because this is where it's going to get you. As you can tell, all of these components are starting to come together. Next week, we're going to focus a lot on the most popular strums for different types of music. So that's it. Have a lot of fun. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.